Salvete Amiki, welcome back to Viva Latina and welcome to the 5th history video. Today we're talking about the mid to late republic, so we have a lot of wars to cover, so let's study some history. First, we're talking about the Second Samnite War. There's two notable Roman defeats during this war. The first at Caudine Forks, in 321 BC, where the Romans had to pass under the yoke after this battle, and the second at Alautuli. And those were two notable defeats during the Second Samnite War. Next, we have Appius Claudius Caecus. He's the censor in 312 BC. Caecus means the blind. And he built the Appian Way, which is the Via Appia, and the Aqua Appia, which is an aqueduct through Rome. Now, the Third Samnite War. The Battle of Certamen. In 295 BC is where Decius Mus, who is a Roman general, charged in battle and did something called the Act of Devotio, where he charges into the front lines, basically guaranteeing his own death, but is able to boost the morale of his fellow Roman soldiers, and they're able to win the Battle of Certamen. During the Pyrrhic War, King Pyrrhus of Epirus, which is a region in Greece, and Pyrrhus is the first to fight Rome with elephants. In 280, there's the Battle of Heraclea. In 279 BC, there's the Battle of Osculum, which has the term Pyrrhic victory. Which is where Pyrrhus won the battle, but because he lost so many soldiers that it posed the question of, was the battle really worth it? And then in 275 BC, the Romans won at Beneventum. A man named Fabricius was a Roman ambassador who Pyrrhus tried to bribe, but Fabricius was unbribable, and so it didn't work. There's 3 Punic Wars, and the first was fought over Messana. Oops. We're gonna keep going, guys. In Sicily. The First Punic War was from 264 to 241 BC. The Romans built this thing called a corvus, which was a gangplank with a grappling hook attached to the end. And this is because the Roman soldiers had a much superior land army. And they try to make every naval battle into a land battle. So they use these corvi to board enemy ships. This worked in their first naval victory at Mylae in 260 BC. And then the First Punic War ended with the Aegates Islands in 241 BC. The Second Punic War was from 218 to 201 BC, began when Hannibal crossed the Ebro River in Spain, breaking the Ebro Treaty. And then there was multiple Roman losses at the start. Ticinus River, Trebia River, both in 218. And there was Lake Trasimene in 217. And then one of the worst defeats in all of Roman history at Cannae in 216. And then in Zama at 202, Scipio Africanus defeats Hannibal, and they're able to win the war. Hannibal, whose dad was Hamilcar Barca, made him swear to hate the Romans when Hannibal was only 9 years old. And because Publius Cornelius Scipio defeats them, he earns the ognomen Africanus. And then the Third Macedonian War from 168 BC, we have the Battle of Pydna, where the Roman commander Aemilius Paulus defeats Perseus of Macedon. Then the Third Punic War, which was the last Punic War, it goes from 149 BC to 146 BC. This is where Scipio Africanus Aemilianus, not to be confused with Scipio Africanus, he won the war and besieged Carthage. And Cato the Elder said Carthago delenda est after every speech, which means Carthage must be destroyed. Thank you for stopping in on video 5.